Hi, I'm Pauline.
Hey, I'm Priscilla.
I'm Pal.
And I'm Tammy John.
That's on you. We're keeping that one. That's on you. And this is the P3T podcast. Yay!
Still Miss Lake. Imagine. She supported me today.
I was shangiliaing.
Jazz hands. Who is seeing those jazz hands? The audience is not seeing them.
It's audible.
Alright. Today we're talking about purpose. Yeah? And before we talk about purpose, I think the main reason I wanted us to talk about this was because a while back I was reading through the book of Esther. Mm-hmm. And you probably know the general story of Esther. If you don't, go read your Bible. Mm-hmm. But basically, when just after Haman had set out the decree for the Jews to be killed, Mordecai tells Esther to go talk to God. Not God, the king. Sorry, forgive me. Yeah, King Xerxes, and tell him what's going on. Basically, plead for the Jews. Mm-hmm. And Esther starts making up excuses. I don't you can't. You go before the king. You can't access the king if he's not summoned you. Mm-hmm. I might lose my life. And Mordecai tells Esther, "Fine, you don't plead for the Jews." Wait, first before he tells Esther that, he says, how do you know that you have not been put in your position for such a time as this? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then after Esther gives all her excuses, Mordecai says, "Okay, fine. You don't plead for the Jews, but I'm telling you, the help for the Jews will come from somewhere, and your father's family will end with you." Mm-hmm. So I guess it just got me thinking about purpose, and specifically divine purpose. Mm-hmm. So I guess that's mostly what I wanted us to talk about today. Yeah. And my first question would be, what do you guys think about the whole notion of divine purpose?
I want to talk. I've said this before. Sorry. Should I just tell them even this one is recorded twice before?
Sure, you can.
So, audience, I know you don't know this, but we've tried recording, just like the accommodation episode, we've tried recording this episode twice before and it's not worked out. In terms of like sound quality and stuff like that, but now we're doing it. So, when we recorded it before, my whole argument, especially the first time, my whole thing was, I don't think
why? I hate you. He did a follow-up interview recently, and he was like, I'm out here trying to address the blocks. Nitakampeana mawaidha. Alafu bodaboda inapita. That guy, I really hate him. And the world also hates him. Okay. That's true, because we've all just been saying how much we hate him.
Anyway, so my whole thing before was talking about the way, like, I don't think purpose is like, I think it's divine, but I don't think it's like clear, like, I was born on December 4th, the year of the Lord, and then
the year of the Lord what?
Because of
Guys, clearly our TikTok is that's large, man.
Anyway. So, I didn't know to not that much slander, but it's okay.
Guys, our TikTok is popping on. Go check it out. P3T Podcast KE.
So, like, I don't think, like, it's like, nilizaliwa mwaka wa Yesu. Ninaenda after nimezaliwa nikiwa miaka mitatu nimeanza kucheza tenisi. After nimeanza kucheza tenisi nitakuwa the next Serena Williams. Nitaendelea na masomo yangu, nitapata scholarship. Like there's no I truly think there's no like we don't know or there's no certain way to know like that we are meant for this purpose. Or we are meant for this whatever. Yeah. I think even in the case of Esther, her like going to become queen, whatever, might have been because it's Mordecai who egged her on to become queen. I think it was
Yo,
Ilikuwa
I
Mordecai.
just studied.
Ilikuwa Mordecai.
So walikuwa exile.
Yeah, they were in exile, but it wasn't that he would. It was a decree that all.
No. Was it all?
Not all beautiful ladies.
Oh.
Young, beautiful.
Yeah.
God, not like that. I meant like young, beautiful,
Virgin.
Yeah, lady.
Yeah.
So I think even at that point, Esther alikuwa naenda tu for vibes kidogo, not for vibes really.
I don't know
but
if she had an option. Is the thing.
Maybe okay. So maybe even if she didn't have an option, she just went juu tumeambiwa. You know, she was like, oh, tumeambiwa.
Yeah.
Pack virago off to the palace.
Yeah.
And even when she was doing the things, she was being a bit clever about everything, because she was not like, she wasn't just passing time. She thought about like what she wanted to do, how she wanted to be queen, and she was like very strategic. She got a lot of favor.
She got a lot of favor, but was it as a result of her being strategic or just God being God? I don't know. Food for thought.
I think God was God, but even like times Moses, God gave Moses the strategy, you know. So I think even like God ordained like the wisdom in Esther to, you know, be like kind and everything, and then she was given a little favor so that she could then go on to become queen. So even at the point where she became queen, she might have not known why she was even queen. You know, then this disaster came, and now Mordecai was like, this is the reason, you know, like now her purpose came to her finally. Even like if you look at Moses' life, him having to like stay in the wilderness and all of that, and and fend for himself, might have prepared him for the journey to the promised land, because he knows how to survive in the wilderness. He knows how to be in tents, you know. He's like and then even like him living in the palace, he might have not known why all of these things happened, because he was landed, and now he was like street smart and book smart. So he might have not known why, like he was adopted as a child, where he didn't get like to live with his mom and all of that, you know. But then it all came like full circle. So I think we do have a purpose, but I think sometimes like God just doesn't lay it out for us for, you know. It's like, I feel like sometimes you find yourself stumbling into these things, and then you're like, oh my gosh, yeah. So you see, even like with these 2 episodes, with the last episode specifically, like we might have been frustrated saying, mbona kazi kufanya kazi nini, but then it ended up being the best recording. So maybe that's what God wanted for us.
I was literally just about to say that.
Sorry, nimeongea sana.
Priscilla?
Just to add into what Paul said, I think the takeaway from Esther's story is that there are certain values, beliefs, principles that make you predisposed to God's purpose in your life. So there are certain skills, there are certain values, there are certain principles, even belief systems that you hold dear that necessarily don't make your purpose, but you're more predisposed to become whatever you would view your purpose to be. So like for, let's say, Queen Esther, maybe because she was strategic, she was beautiful, she was...
Let me confirm that strategic thing before we continue saying that. Continue.
Anyway, maybe she was also smart, wise, she was patient, she was humble, she was kind. Those values and principles she held made her predisposed to being used by God in that way. If Queen Esther was not in the picture, maybe a similar person who had similar values would have taken the place of Queen Esther. There are just certain things that make you more predisposed to fulfilling God's purpose.
Yeah.
I'd like to look at it with a principle we learned in social psychology called the bystander effect, where it states that it's where like people are less inclined to help someone out because they believe that somebody else will do it. So it's not really like the bystander effect, but it's more of like if you don't do it, somebody else will. If you're not going to allow yourself to be used by God, God is going to choose somebody else, or will take somebody else who is in alignment with what he's looking for to take the place of what you could have done. So, you know that verse that says, if you, I don't know how to say it again. I'm sorry. It's been a minute since I saw that verse. But it says, if you don't worship him, he'll make the rocks
stones.
to also worship him.
Matthew.
So he can do without you. Sorry.
But ni kweli,
Yeah.
truth be told.
He can do without you. Usijigambe ati, oh, mimi ni mso, that kind of thing.
I'm chosen of the Lord.
Yeah.
Surely he will not forsake me.
Yeah, he can easily do away with you. Like, man, he created the whole damn universe. So what are you? But he loves you anyway.
I like that one.
He loves you very much. But
Yeah.
he's God.
Yeah.
Who are you? Sorry.
I think what...
I want to provide clarity.
Go ahead.
I think I confused her strategy at the end when she was killing that guy. What's his name? Haman.
Yes.
With like her being strategic in the beginning. She just won
Yeah.
that guy's favor. The one who was preparing the ladies.
That's what I thought.
Sorry.
Also, just to fact check, it's Luke. The stones will cut instead. Luke 19, 39 to 40.
There you have it. A very capable producer.
Siku moja tutafanya Bible TV.
Truly, we should actually. That would
Right.
be fun. I don't know how we'd film it, but it would be fun.
Priscilla instantly regretting.
For TikTok.
Tamix.
Wow.
Yeah, that's actually a really
That's a good idea.
I think what Priscilla said reminds me of the parable of the talents. Was it the talents? It's called, I think, is it called different things?
It's called different things, but talent is I think the most common.
Yeah.
So how this man, or there was a rich man, he entrusted 3 people with with
10
talents.
Ten.
5
Was it
talents.
talent?
Yeah.
Okay.
5 talents.
2 and 10.
And 10.
I think I've been recently reading. Yeah, I was recently
Yeah,
reading a
there's gold
version that
coins, there's
says
talents.
Yes.
I think they're different. They're different depending on the
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 author.
version.
book. Yeah.
The translation.
The book.
Oh, I was like,
See, the book is written by different authors.
yes, I get that, but in my mind I was like, what do you mean author?
No.
God is the author.
I get that.
Anyway,
A human writer.
so the first 2 who are entrusted, I think there's one who was entrusted with 5, another one with 3, another one with 1.
It was
I could be wrong.
10. Oh,
10, 5, 2.
Yeah, I think so.
That's the other thing. The quantities, I think, also change.
They change even like in different versions.
Yeah.
For the coins they change. Let's just
It's
get
5 to 1.
For real?
Talents. 5 to
It's
1.
not 10. Oh, and then the 5 became 10, the 2 became 4, the 1 remained 1.
That's the
Okay.
Sorry, 1.
So yeah, I wasn't too off. I said 3 instead of 2.
Yeah.
But anyway, so like Priscilla, let me not say what Priscilla said, but like to add to what she said, if what God has entrusted you with right now, you don't utilize or you don't grow, it will go like that.
I was trying to be serious and then Pal laughed. Blame Pal. But I had you.
I was silently laughing. Don't blame me.
Anyway, itaenda hivyo and like you'll miss on your destiny being fulfilled or your purpose being, I don't know that you'll miss on your purpose being fulfilled.
You could.
You could.
Yeah, you
That's
could.
what Mordecai tells Esther. Your father's family will end with you.
Yeah, crazy. Anyway. So yeah, like literally, like you could lose out on your purpose because with the little that God entrusted you to see if you could grow it, you decided to hide it in the soil. So yeah, but to be honest, the whole conversation on purpose, it's very scary because personally I don't want to know what I need to do, when I do it, how I do it, you know. But God doesn't work like that. It's crazy to think He has a full view
Of your life.
of my life and what He'd want me to do with it. But me hapa nalia, I'm just like, God, I don't know what to do, you know. So yeah.
I think go
So
ahead,
I had
Priscilla.
a question to that. Is it possible that we have multiple divine purposes?
So
I
here's
think you
what
could
I
have
think.
multiple paths, but they lead to
The same thing.
Hmm.
But here's what I think. I don't think purpose is an end. I think it's a journey. So even with, as Paul was saying, the way Esther, like when she became queen, she didn't know the Jews were going to be persecuted. Nobody knew. Like her, she was just beautiful and kind and had favor from
God.
that man, from God, but also that man who needs, who I don't even know what that man did, but I know he helped her
He
become
helped her,
queen.
like he gave her the most, like
The beauty regimen.
Yes. Yeah, so like even in that space, she was still living out her purpose. Like she didn't, because if her purpose had ended with her freeing the Jews or like saving the Jews from persecution, she would have died after that.
Yeah, true.
Because that's the end. So
yeah,
yeah,
thanks, madam.
yeah, it's been nice. It's been great. I have other or like like that would have been the end of her life. So I think this is where people struggle with purpose. And I think Paul was the one who brought it up. There's a question of pride, Paul and Priscilla. So there's that proud feeling of pride, feeling like you're God's gift to mankind. Akibila wewe tungesafa. So there's that issue with like the whole discussion on purpose. And then there's also I think it's just a fear of uncertainty, as what Tamix was saying. Because yes, God has like a full view of your life, and he's not going to tell you about your life. You
At
know,
least not yet.
yeah, not yet. And like every time I hear people saying like, oh yeah, I didn't know like this was God's plan. Like you never know at the beginning, at the onset. You always know as you're living your life and you think back about it and you do a bit of introspection and you're like, oh my God, now you can see God's hand moving, and I think that just is how God works, There's something else I wanted us to talk about. Sorry, let me just wash out this thing. I wanted us to talk about this whole, I want us to focus on the conversation on pride. Yeah? So you see how we've talked about how purpose can lead you to feeling proud and feeling like you're God's gift to mankind. And I wanted to tie this back to, have you guys had those conversations for, I'm the main character, And I guess you are the main character of your life because your life is about you. But have you seen the way it makes people act in public? Where they... So let me give you, like, they're so inconsiderate of the people around them. They feel like everyone is sort of like an audience in their show.
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You've not seen these TikToks?
You don't look at people and think, wow, everyone is living their own independent lives.
Apparently these people don't. So they're very inconsiderate in public, very disrespectful. And I think that stems from pride, which I think can stem from that feeling like, me. God made me. So how do you guys think you can try your best to live out God's purpose for you, but also overcome this hurdle of pride? Go ahead, Tamix.
Well, the hurdle of pride.
Or just say what you wanted to say.
I wanted to say that sometimes our purpose is not fulfilled by ourselves. So, like, Okay, I think that's all I wanted to say.
You can't do God's okay.
Like it's God doing the work. It's not you, Ama.
No,
you
like
can't
I-
work alone.
You're
You
working
can't
with
work
others
alone.
to
Ah.
get this thing done.
Yeah.
Okay.
But so now in context of what Paulina said, don't you think that you can't do anything alone, but now some of these people might feel like ni mimi, I'm the head, the rest of you are just my helpers,
Yeah.
like, so you see, you recognize that you can't do it alone, but like unajiona kama the most important
leader.
person. They're not even a
Not
leader.
even the
Leading
leader.
is fine. Being a leader is fine because you're not undermining the people you're leading, but you're just seeing yourself as like superior
Better
to
than-
everyone else.
So for
Like
these
without
people-
you, God's will would not be done.
Yeah.
So these people who now in the context of these TikToks, these people who are acting in this way, what's their purpose?
No, okay. To be fair, I don't think the people making these TikToks are very concerned about divine purpose. They're just living their best life. But my point was, you can very easily find yourself in that mindset in pursuit of divine purpose, which is where I feel a lot of Christians, especially like, I don't want to say Christians were ukoju, but like, like people who are close to like church leadership, like people who get like prophetic words, like I feel like a lot of them can very easily slip into that space of feeling like Mimi, Miss Chezena Mimi.
Do you think that, okay, it's not a question, it's a question, but it's a question that we can ponder on. Do you think that also us, the followers or the peasants or the lesser than people, in quotes, also have contributed to the pride that these people have, in that, like with the example of church leaders, that we idolize them. So, in as much as, well, they are proudful, and they have proudful. See, that's a word.
Prideful.
It's prideful, guy.
It's okay. You learn every day.
Anyway, the English.
It's okay.
But
Yeah.
but the pride that they have is also because we have made them think that they are second to God.
Period.
Why you say sorry? Don't apologize.
So that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, they can, because again, we can't do it alone. We can't fuel their delusions. I mean, they can't we fueled the idea of their delusion.
Okay.
That's what I think.
Pal? Sorry if you have something.
Oh, I was going to add to what Tamiron said. I was remembering. I think this idea of like us feeling special has always been ingrained in us. If you, sorry Tamiron, didn't do CRE in high school, but I want to just talk about like CRE. If you look at the textbooks, you'll see the way it's written. Human beings were created special by God. We are an important creation. We have been given this responsibility and that responsibility and
Made
that
in his image.
that and made in his image and what. And it's great because it shows how God truly values and loves us. But then I'm just like, why are you making it seem like the rest of God's creation is not like important, especially significant for our survival? So we need to not like belittle these other forms of creation that God has put on earth. As much as we are created in His image, these things are also created from His mind. So surely they too have like significance of some sort. So I feel like that, I don't know, I'll get so bothered because I was like, why are you talking about human beings like these superior beings that are finite and super powerful, and we are not, we're just
We are finite.
You mean
infinite. Kizungu ilikuja na?
Kwani na boda?
Si uongo.
Kwani ni kwangu?
Literally.
So like we're these infinite beings who, like we are all powerful and things like that. So I feel like to some degree it's just like, I think because we are, I don't know, like pre-programmed kind of to sin, then we are pre-programmed to selfishness because it's a form of sin. So even in these books that are written by these Christians who have gone through boards and things, they're still thinking, yes, this is correct. But in my mind, I was just like, this is a bit, I don't know, don't come after me, KICD. Yeah, so I just think like because I've reprogrammed that selfishness, then that's where that like mimimi stems from. But now how to answer your question, how to like kind of deal with it. Because even me, like I have the tendency to think like ni mimi nafanya, ni mimi na nini. But I came to the realization that anyway, say mimi, give credit where credit is due.
Yeah.
So I, even in a lot of things, I tend to give flowers to somebody else. Like I'm just like, no, even though I helped out kidogo, si mimi nilikuwa wanini, and I've really learned to push others forward instead of like dragging them behind me along. Like I empower them and tell them, yeah, you can do this, I'll support you behind. I'll be your like behind support. Even when I'm the peer counselor in my school, so even when like somebody needs help to like write something or edit something, they're just like, no, but we want to write your name so that you want to help. But I'm like, but I sat here for 5 minutes and just corrected grammar. Like you could have gone to Grammarly for that. So I'm just like, no, I just put your name. You did the conceptualization, you made the idea. I just like came and told you like just cooperatify it, So that's so anyway, so I've come to the realization that everybody is also living their own independent lives. And part of the purpose in my life is, I'm moving forward, but also to not bring others forward with me, but to push others forward like ahead of me. So it tells that consistent reminder of everybody's living your own lives. You are, yes, you're special, but you're not the only special person. Everybody is special in their own way. So treat others as such. We are all special. We are all unique. We all have our strengths. And so prepare people like that.
It's just a weird thing that I usually do. When I'm in a matatu, and then because I love sitting at the window, I look at people and then I imagine everybody on their contact list. And like it's a weird thing. So I just sit and then I look at this person and like, wow, imagine if they have like an average of 163 people on their contact list. Then I see another person, another 163. And I'm like, wow, we are so many. Can you imagine all those lives intertwined? And it just makes me realize how big this planet is and
how small you are.
And how small you are. Yeah. Exactly. So I think just being humble in knowing that you're just 1 in 8 billion.
That's true.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people.
It is. All right. So as we conclude, there's this story. It's as we're talking about like how to combat pride in purpose.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this story. I think the author or the writer is named James McIntosh. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but I feel like he's the one who wrote it. It's basically a story about, let me give you guys a summary of the story. It's about this knight, KNIGHT. He, from when he was a very young boy, everyone was like, hey, this one will grow up to have like a handsome, a beautiful wife because he's so handsome.
A handsome wife.
I got the words jumbled up in my mind. Yeah, he'll grow up to have a beautiful wife. He'll grow up to be like one of the most kind rulers because he's so kind, he's so handsome, he's so brave, he's so smart. And so like he grew up like these were just all of the things he was hearing about himself. Yeah, so obviously he grew up knowing mimi ulemse. But what happened is there was like an evil spirit that came. It disguised itself as just a normal spirit, but it came into his life. Why are you laughing?
That's just funny. As a normal spirit, but then it's not a normal spirit, is the only spirit.
Fair. We're in the land of fiction, pal. But yeah, so this spirit comes into his life when he's like just about to enter his teenage years, and he tells him, I'm the spirit of foresight. I can show you anything that you want to see. So this boy who has been been told all of his life how special and how wonderful and how purposeful his life is going to be, he starts thinking about these things and hyper focusing on these things. So what does he tell the spirit to show him? Show me my future victories. Show me like my future wife. So he gets into this space where he just sits and consumes information about how wonderful his life is going to be. Yeah. So now he stops going for his training, so he stops his sword practice, he stops communicating with other people because he's just locked in his room watching this spirit. So he stops doing all of that. Yeah. So eventually 10-15 years after the spirit came into his life, there's a siege on his village. Yeah. And this king comes, and he's this like horrible king, and he conquers the village, yada yada, people are killed, whatever, and everyone is like, so he's sitting there and he's wondering, I was supposed to be this brave knight, I don't know anything, like why can't I save anyone, because he's not been going for his training, he's not been like doing any of these things, he doesn't have the beautiful wife they told him he would have, because he's never spoken to a woman again. So after all of that, like there's destruction, people are dying, the spirit starts laughing, and he's like, why are you laughing? And he was like, I'm laughing because that king who has conquered you, I'm the one who sent him. And I knew that if I didn't come and destroy you before you got to that point where you could fight off, we would lose. So this past 10-15 years, as you've been sitting here just fantasizing about your life, because that's basically what you've been doing, I've used this time to destroy you. So, like he was, and then it's so sad because at the end of all of that, he says, okay, but can you show me one last time, my beautiful wife? Like it's really just a very heartbreaking thing, and I think it's a reality that a lot of people find themselves in, where they are hyper focusing on like what they want their life to look like and what their purpose is, and all of these beautiful divine things we've talked about, which are good and they're beautiful, but you need to actually put in the work. And I think that's why God works the way he works, in that he doesn't tell you what he's doing in your life. I think that's why you need to just work and trust that you're walking in his purpose, and trust that he's guiding you. Yes, in the uncertainty, in the confusion, in the not very like you don't know what's going on, but trust that this God who has a map of your life knows and is guiding your steps. I think that's how we need to interact with purpose. I don't think we should interact with it in the sense of Mimi, I am made, I'm created. I think we need to interact with it in the sense of, I'm here and I'm living, and in my living every day, I will try and honor God, and in these things, I will do the thing that God wants me to do. That's how I think people ought to interact with purpose. Sorry, that was a bit of a long story.
Okay. Okay, I know we need to wind up. But I think I have like a food for thought kind of question.
Go ahead.
Do you guys believe in kuiba nyota? Because kuiba nyota is more of like ama kusafisha nyota. It depends on.
It's like stealing your destiny.
Yeah, stealing your destiny. How? Through spiritually. Like spiritual purposes. That's why there are these rituals. Even people have been talking about them on YouTube. My shosho watches them. I don't know why, but anyway,
those people on YouTube are a bit scary.
I know, like what they do. It's a thing that has been happening apparently, and I've seen it also on Instagram, on Confessions of Diana Kemunto. Do you know Diana Kemunto?
No, I don't.
She's one of the most. She's highly recognized pimp. Anyway, sorry.
I know.
Sorry. So what I was saying is, now there are a lot of stories that she's posted. She's a pimp, and she's also a very highly on-demand
So
escort.
you don't told me about her.
Yeah, she's
that's
yeah.
another
Anyway, sorry guys, sorry. Let me tell you the okay. Wait 1 minute. Give
Our
me
producer is rushing us, guys.
So
That's why she's so distraught.
yeah. Anyway, so basically, there are men who sleep with women, especially virgins, because they believe. Yeah, that's why there are a lot of men who demand for virgin prostitutes.
So every day you're just sleeping with
Virgin prostitutes.
They're not prostitutes, but like those newly ones.
Like the fresh ones.
The freshmen in prostitution.
That's
yeah.
yeah.
So like they demand for young girls or young ladies who've not broken their virginity, because when they break that girl's virginity and they believe there's going to be a spill of blood, that blood, they do some weird rituals or incantations or chants that is like stealing the girl's destiny.
Did you watch the documentary for this pastor?
One Nigeria.
Oh, TB
Joshua.
No, I didn't watch
That same thing.
He do something
Similar to that. Also, there are men who sleep with women, and then they make sure that the condom is broken, and then once you get pregnant, they tell you need to abort that child, and they take you to a specific abortion clinic, a specific doctor, so that when that fetus is removed, that fetus is taken to a certain altar and is offered as a sacrifice. Apparently, it's what Satanists do. That fetus is taken and is used as a ritual. Now, the blood, because that blood is innocent, that fetus is innocent, they use that fetus kusafisha nyota yao. So that now they get money. It's a money ritual that a lot of people in Nairobi actually do, apparently.
Yes, Pan.
Oh, I think the blood of Jesus and the power that comes from his saving us and his salvation is powerful over any other power, because this power that people are using, if something is not of God, then it's of the devil, especially in the spirit realm. So these spirits are basically demonic, and Jesus, rather God, has already condemned like the devil to like eternal like death. He's going to be defeated. So that's why, like, even when demons try to attack, have you ever seen like stories of somebody tried to follow me, like for Christians, somebody tried to follow me, but then it's like they had like the demon saying, no, not this one, not this one.
Can I tell you a story?
Yeah.
It's so quick. Just tied on that. There's, I think he's a Catholic saint. I could be wrong. Don't arrest me. But he became a saint because he used to be like a witchcraft, a male witch, a warlock, or a wizard. I'm not sure, but he used to be that, and he went like he was trying to do one of those witchcrafty things, and he tried to like attack someone, and the whatever spirit he was working with basically told him that one we can't touch. That one is not ours. That one if we touch we die. So that's the thing that was like, which is this power that even because he was like a really powerful warlock apparently. Like, what is this power even I can't handle? So that's how he became a Christian and then became a saint. But yeah.
So there's this lady who she made a TikTok. TikTok is the new Facebook for Gen Z.
It really is.
Yeah, because I'm believing anything, but then I'm going to believe what she said. So she was saying, like her grandmother was a witch and she was named after her grandmother and everything. So she became like, when her grandmother died, all like her powers were transferred to her. And
She can.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
So she was so her should like actively like look to torment people, to like pass spirits onto them. But she couldn't do it to Christians because it's like they had like a covering around them, like a barrier. So she was saying, so now that's how even her she became Christian, because she's like So I truly and firmly believe that if God's destiny if God has a destiny for you and he has like a purpose and destiny for everyone, then if you remain faithful to him and you truly believe that he's protecting you and you're under his covering, then hizi vitu haziwezi kukuaffect unless he lets it happen, like in the case of Job. But there's still a purpose in that, So if God lets the devil if he allows the devil to come to you and test you and do all these things, there's still a purpose in that. He's going to use that in some way to prove his point. You see, like for Job, it proved God's point of, watu wangu, they can't turn from me. You do what you want, but they'll never turn from me. They're faithful and they're devoted to me. So, yeah, I genuinely think these demonic powers, they do have power, because these people do get rich. They do get into like positions of power. They get what they want. But at the point where you're going head to head with God,
no.
You've lost.
Can I give just a quick biblical physical example?
Mtu mwenye anatukatia time.
Joseph, physically, people tried to stand in the way of his destiny. With his brothers selling, because his brothers knew they were supposed to bow down to him.
Oh yes.
With his brothers selling him, that was a way to curtail his destiny.
Walimwibia nyota.
Maybe Nani, Potiphar's wife didn't know. We don't know how much she knew about the man, but she was interested, so who knows? But
And the way Joseph would talk about his dreams, maybe she ended up telling her.
But even Potiphar's wife curtailed. When the wine taster cupbearer alirudi, see Joseph alimwambia by this usinisahau akamsahau. You get to like active / passive, at least I believe it was passive, but active / passive efforts to actively curtail the purpose that God had put out for him. But because he remained faithful to God even through the ups and downs and hills and valleys, God allowed him to get to
where he
purpose.
wanted.
And also all these things that he had done before to finally reach the king all prepared him for the time that now he would actually be the king. Who knows whether he would have been able to interpret that dream if he wasn't in prison interpreting
An exercise.
Okay.
Kweli.
That's true.
So we all believe we are kunyota or kuosha nyota.
I think.
Well, that was the question.
I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there is good. I believe there is good, and so if there is good, then there must be evil. I don't think.
But do you think it can be taken like your destiny can be taken out of you
unless you're slacking? Unless you're slacking in your spiritual life. Like I think just as Paul was saying, when it comes to like they're going head to head with God, they've lost unless God allows it. And if God allows it, then now it's up to us to trust him because he has good plans for us and he loves us.
Yeah. Okay.
Amen.
All right.
That is a good conclusion.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what we say after the conclusion.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening. I was trying to remember the social media plugins. Yeah. So anyway, thanks for listening. I think you're listening on Spotify. If you're listening on Spotify, about Chini, our very capable producer, ameka question. Sindio?
Unataka swali gani leo?
Oi. Ajeka,
Do you
kama haiko.
believe in kuiba nyota?
Yeah.
That's why you listen to the full episode.
Yeah, just go answer that question kindly, and then after you answer that question, just go to Instagram and you interact with our stories and our reels and our
content.
Yes, just our content in general. And then when you finish that one, and then you go to TikTok. I know you have the time. I hope.
We all have
I
the
hope
time.
How do you know?
because I have the
TikTok.
Fair. And then after that, you go to our TikTok and just give us a follow at P3T Podcast KE. Sandvit, Coca-Cola, we do be consuming. We consume quite a number of your
And
products.
crispy. Oh.
Is it crispy or crispy?
Okay, where are we just reaching out to food brands?
It's a bit like it's showing us what we think is important to us. But anyway,
Keswick, guys.
who's Keswick?
So the ones who sell Bibles.
But
Yeah.
now they sponsor and they're meaning Bibles. Maybe they will.
Maybe they will. They may be
But see,
misquoting them. Anyway,
What have you been
literally give us Bibles, we learn it. Thank you for listening. If you want not just those brands, but anyone who wants to work with us, email us at podcastke@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Amen. Thank you. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys.
Listening.
Thanks for listening, guys. Bye.
Bye.